Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. A very warm welcome to every one of you. I'm very delighted to inform you that we have with us the members of Scribers Society, and they are from Salem, they're from Tamil Nadu. We have with us Pooja Mehta, Ashish Godia, Akash Sagar, and Madam Geetanjali Dilip. They are the founders and members of Scribers Society. Uh, I am also honored to be part of it. We at Rivers feel very privileged to be part of the Yercaud Poetry Festival, which is happening from 6th to 8th of August. And it is a joint collaboration between Rotary Club of Salem Galaxy, Scribers Society, and Rivers. And we are being told that there are more than 103 poets in it, and these kind of festivals are happening from past 4 years, and this time there are three languages in which the anthology would be printed. So a very warm welcome to every one of you, and I also take the opportunity to all the viewers who have just joined us on our Facebook page as well as on our YouTube channel to just keep on sharing your love. Please type the questions, suggestions, or if you want to ask anything to these wonderful members of Scribers Society who have curated this festival. And please ask those questions in the comment. We already see Santosh Bakaya ji, Lily Swarn ji, and lot of many people joining. So my greetings to all of you. With your love and support, Rivers is growing with each day, and I'm sure with your blessings and your guidance, we'll be able to achieve a lot. So, to begin with, I would like to introduce Madam Geetanjali Dilip. Geetanjali Dilip ji has contributed poetry in multiple languages, has authored various anthologies. She also runs various Facebook pages, including Poetry Wise, Soul Riff, Geeta Ma Extra. She teaches French and also is heading Zone Francophone at Salem, and is a graduate in English literature from Ithraj College, Madras, and postgraduate in French from Bangalore University. She is a published poet with anthologies Between Moms and Sons 1 and 2, The Virtual Reality, Plant Poetry, Poetry, and Midnight Poetry, in collaboration with several renowned poets to her credit. Her solo anthology, Gitama, is now in bookstores. Her second solo anthology, Hansa Gitama, is available in Amazon.in. So, as I have already stated, she is a very well-known figure. More than that, she is a very dear person to all of us. Her nature is very soft. She is very concerned about the people around her and extremely loving. She has put in lot of hard work in curating this Yercaud Poetry Festival 2021, which unfortunately had to be curtailed, and we are doing it online on Zoom. So this is the curtain raiser event for the Yercaud Poetry Festival. So to begin with, I welcome all of you. Welcome Pooja ji, Ashish, Akash, and Geetanjali ji. A very warm welcome to you. I would like to inform our viewers that we are the media partner for this festival. We have collaborated with the Soul Scribers Society, Salem, and Rotary Club of Salem Galaxy. And in this, there are more than 103 poets. And this is a venture which is happening from past 4 years. So, Soul Scribers Society, they are doing these festivals. They are doing these festivals from past 4 years, and this time they are doing online only because of the restrictions caused by COVID. We also have with us Ashish Godia. Welcome, Ashish. Please unmute your mic, and I will request now Geetanjali ji to please speak. Otherwise, I'll keep on talking. So you need to stop me.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Afan, Rivers, Team Rivers Group, for having us here. It's a very beautiful moment. The curtain raiser is indeed very auspicious for us because this is what poetry does. I believe that poetry truly connects the world, and we have transcended all realms and all borders, and we are here, and we are literally inaugurating the festival through you. And poetry is like a river, so we are working with rivers right now. So thank you
Yes,
on behalf of Soul Scribers Society Salem for having us and taking all the efforts to let the world know that though we are from a small town, we believe in poetry and we believe in bringing the world together through our words and verses. Thank you.
that's wonderful. So, just out of curiosity, because there are so many people who don't know what Soul Scriber Society is. So, just to clear the doubt and to ask their question, I would like to ask you, what is Soul Scriber Society?
Right. So, in this very living room where we are right now,
Yeah.
our Ashish Godia, who's also my friend student, he mooted the idea. He said, why can't we have poetry happening in our town? Because he is a poet himself and he wanted to reach out to the world and share his poetry. And he said to start that we need to have some activity with in relation with poetry. And he knew that I write too. So we formed a small group of enthusiastic poets who, one of them is late Sri Ram, and another girl called Aishwarya, but she's very, very busy right now with her novel coming up. So the four of us just got together and we informally started something called, we brainstormed and we said, okay, let it just be Soul Scribers Society because it's not just the society, it's like people from all over, anybody can join us. And it started in a very humble way right here, and he
Mm-hmm.
went about designing the poster for it. He's very creative, he's an artist. Ashish is full of enthusiasm, and he just wanted to do something very different. And he said, why don't we just start off here? And we used to jam poetry, we used to write extempore poetry right away, and give in our best. And then slowly it grew, and then Akash came down from Bangalore. He used to visit every now and then because he was working there. And weekends he would come and we would all get together and start. We started a page on Facebook because Facebook was a fantastic platform to reach out to the
Indeed.
world. Yes. So he joined us and it became Soul Scribers Society, and we started getting very serious about it. And before that, we Akash and I had started something called Between Moms and Sons, that page. So Between Moms and Sons was actually the springboard where poetry started off for us, and we wanted to go kind of big and have celebrate poets along with that. So we first came out with our volumes 1 and 2, and later Soul Scribers joined. We all became the Soul Scribers finally, and we called it that because we this is all about soul, and we wanted the world to just come together, regardless of who we are and where we are, and just respect the soul in the poetry. That's it. So that's what Soul
Perfect.
Scribers
That
is about.
yeah, the flow of it is sounds so natural, and I'm sure that all those who have connected to you through all these years, they have selflessly connected, and the efforts which you put and your team puts is amazing. And indeed,
Thank you.
as you stated in your initial remarks, that everybody is a poet, but
Yes.
we need people basically to tell us that everybody is a poet. We need people to motivate us, and we need platforms like Yercaud Poetry Festival, which is being organized by you. We
Yes.
need these platforms because we have to realize, and it's very difficult to realize. However, lockdown has changed a lot of things. And do you think that during lockdown there is an increase of number of poets or poetry?
Surprisingly, yes. The Zoom platform and the virtual world is indeed, one of the best ways to get together. And
Mm-hmm.
this is technology is God right now. Technology is the new normal, and so we have to cash in on that. We have to take advantage of that, and use it very, very productively and in a positive way. And
Mm-hmm.
although there may not be live meetings, and we do look forward to that because the atmosphere in Yercaud is so beautiful and it inspires many poets to write. And it's absolutely sylvan. And of course, it's nothing huge compared to Kashmir or Srinagar. That's different. But yeah, this is all, it's in our backyard. We have a beautiful hill station literally in our backyard. So we thought it would be very interesting for poets to come and literally interact with each other. But like you said, with the new normal, we have to kind of move forward with the fact that the digital world and the space here, the electronic space that we have, is what connects not just poetry but this too. So this is like a tool, this is like a conduit for us to
Yes,
meet,
indeed.
yes, and get it going. Ultimately, our intention is just to keep poetry alive and get many poets under the canopy. Here, the canopy is Zoom or StreamYard or anything like that. That's the thing. Yes,
Wonderful.
and there have been an
Wonderful.
increase of poets. Yes, indeed, and people have started looking at Yercaud Poetry Festival. We call it YPF. So from 2018 to now, it's just been happily, it's like rolling along in a very beautiful way, despite many many hurdles. Yes.
Yeah, now I would request my colleague, Madam Deepika Chand, who is also the member in our editorial board, to give a brief introduction about Pooja, Ashish, and Akash. And she can also shoot few questions if she likes to.
Hi there, everyone. Hi, Gitanjali, Akash, Ashish, Pooja. Welcome,
Hi,
welcome.
Deepika.
And we are together, in the curtain raiser of Soul Scribers, partnering with Rhyvers in the Yercaud Festival. As Gitanjali very rightly made sure that we get the pronunciation right. But
Yes.
unfortunately, even now, Afan didn't get it right. So Afan, the word is Yercaud, right,
I think
Gitanjali?
he got it right. He got it right, Deepika. He got
Okay.
it right.
So, yeah. So, not that I wanted to embarrass him, but anyway, Pooja, let me introduce the lovely Pooja. First of all, it's lovely meeting you. I think I'm meeting you for the first time.
Yes.
And
Lovely meeting you.
yes, and it's so nice to have just poets and writers together on one platform. It's so exciting, and I wish we could have met physically, but because of the pandemic, we have to do this online. So Pooja is Pooja Mehta. She was born and brought up in Salem. She's a trained jewelry designer with 10 years of experience in the industry, having held her own enterprise, Elara, for 3 years, which dealt with custom made jewelry using gold, diamonds, and precious semi precious stones. About a year ago, she moved to Ahmedabad and is currently working on her personal brand of contemporary fashion jewelry, Iravat. She has been a sole scriber since 2018 and has actively been a member of the core organizing committee for the Yercaud Poetry Festival for the past 4 years. She's a lover of the performing arts. Oh, that's wonderful. And
Yes,
loves to
so she's
sing.
amazing.
Yes. And loves to sing, dance, write poetry, and do theater as a passionate hobby. Oh my God, you're really, really multi talented.
She
So,
is.
welcome again. Yes.
I just dabble, I dabble.
Oh, I totally doubt that. And
And she's very humble. Yeah.
next, I would like to introduce Ashish. Ashish, welcome. Where are you? I can't see you. Godia is a child poet who's been writing since he was 7. Although very private with his work, he believes in sharing it with the people who use his lines to introspect and find a greater meaning than that meets the eye. Being from the hills, he's a nature tripper. I'd like to know that later, offline, what that means.
Uh, uh, there's some technical fault, and I think we have lost her for the time being. But it was very kind of her to give a brief introduction about Pooja. And if she's able to join, I'll patch her again. And she also briefly stated few points about Ashish. And as she was saying that Ashish is a child poet, is a poet from his childhood. He's doing poetry since he was 7 years old, and he believes in sharing his work and lines of introspection with others. He's from Hill, he's a nature tripper and an animal lover. Ashish has turned into author and has come out with his very first book, The Greater the Dream. The book is an absolute delight for young souls. Let's now hear about it from the author himself. Okay, Ashish, if you want to say something about yourself, please say. And also because Gitanjali ji told that the idea basically came from you about the Soul Scribers Society. You being her student. So
So when we were kids, we
uh,
used to read books like Famous Five and Secret Seven, and they always had like a group and a place to meet all of them and all that stuff.
okay,
And as I grew up, I kept wondering why don't I have one for writing? And then I met Ma'am, who practically worked magic into reality. So this wouldn't have been possible without her
okay,
because I might have given her the idea, but
mm-hmm.
she brought the idea to life.
Wonderful, wonderful.
So
So how difficult was it to actually join the join the
not
dots, conceive it, and put your thoughts into action? How difficult was it?
there was no difficulty at all because it was poetry and it came when it came, it did from the soul. That's
Wonderful,
just the
wonderful.
name, and that's how we came about the whole idea. Soul scriber means somebody who writes from their soul, and it's a society of those people. So, all of us who collaborate with each other and make each other listen to our work just want a part of our soul to be heard,
Mm-hmm.
which is what we do very
Okay.
effectively over the last 4 years because we ma'am has curated it in such a way that all the elements that make up the universe are a part of our festivals. So we started off with plant poetry, which was all about the earth, float poetry, which was
Okay.
all about water, ignite, all about fire, and this year we got breathe, breathe poetry.
Great.
So it's all
Yes.
about the air right now. Yeah.
Yes.
And next year we have a surprise
Wonderful.
waiting for you. So come back for more.
Yes, definitely. It's a pleasure joining hands with you guys, and we are looking forward to more and more collaboration.
Absolutely.
So I would like to
Likewise.
ask Pooja. Yeah. So Pooja,
Yes.
you have taken a lot of efforts. You have taken a flight from Ahmedabad, and then you went to Coimbatore, did all the testing. So one can understand the passion which you have for this project. So, what is basically your card poetry festival for you?
I would like to go back a little and explain something about my relationship with this woman right here. So she was a French teacher in the school where I studied. And even
Okay.
though I've never directly studied under her, we used to collaborate on, creative talent shows and, skits and all that we put up. And she's always had a knack for, uh, for visually, she just has that thing about, bringing things to life visually. So I guess Yercaud Poetry Festival, curating it came very easy with her.
Okay.
And how I got involved was we somehow reconnected years after school, and she asked me if I would take part in the pageant during the first Yercaud Poetry Festival, which was plant
Okay.
poetry.
So,
And
what is?
she said she was looking for an anchor, co-anchor, somebody to help her anchor the event with. And I said I did have a little experience of it since college, and that's how I got involved. And the more I spent time with her and with the with poetry, I started falling in love with it. And
Okay.
believe it or not, I was not a poet. I did not know I could write, but she has turned a poet out of me. And I had my first poetry published last year in Ignite Poetry, and this is going to be my second poem that's going to be published. So
Brilliant.
if anything, all my thanks go to her. I'm really grateful to her for the opportunities that she's given me through these years. And she's just opened up a new world to me, and I could not be in better hands, She's helped me bring out all my creative talents, and
And
it's just passions just pulled me in, It's just pulled me in. That's all.
Right now, I'd like to say something about Pooja. She's
mhm,
extremely meticulous. She was the head girl of the school in 2004, 5, 2005.
2005 and 6.
2005 and 6, that academic year. And
Which class?
I've literally seen her from an LKG child grow into this person who could handle more than 2,000 children, I mean, school kids, and take care of the teachers and please them and bring a balance about. And I said, oh, wow, this girl is something else. And then we drifted away because, we had our work to do. But then when I approached her, she was the only one who came into my mind. Somehow, I don't know. It was all God's design. I wouldn't know how to put it, but it was like that. And she was so spontaneous about it. And she's extremely meticulous. She's a perfectionist, and she does it with panache. And she does it with such aesthetics. And I felt, she's like a kind of reflection of me. I'm not saying this to talk, something about myself and take the thunder away from her, but she is really somebody I have learned a lot from. And she keeps her calm. She is like my beautiful balance, and she's like a daughter to me. Absolutely, I could just say that much.
That's
And yeah,
wonderful.
and she's
And
come all the way not just for passion, because she's committed herself to this. She's got enough going. She's launching her product. She's coming out with her new jewelry and things like that. But she's here because she made the commitment, and that's what that sums up Pooja. So yeah, sorry. I mean, I had to say this. Yes, and I'm
no,
proud to
that's
say
wonderful.
yes.
So, indeed, I personally believe that a lot of people you must have touched and transformed through your work, Gitanjali ji. So, Pooja just told us about pageant. So, what is pageant?
So, like I said, that she has a knack for these visual treats, and Yercaud Poetry Festival, being just a poetry festival, was not enough for her. Okay, so we always like to do a little more, always go one extra step, to make it a wholesome experience for our poets that come in. So when she approached me that she wanted to do a pageant, even I was very unclear as to exactly what it was. But we met. We had our first meeting right here in this living room, and that's when she put up the idea of having poetry, but something that people can visualize, something that they can hear, something that they can feel, and not just only read. So we had these elaborate practices where we put up music together, where we recorded our voices with different poems that she's written and compiled over the years, and we would add music to it, and we choreograph steps around them. So we try to give poets an actual feeling of how poetry can touch you.
Indeed.
So that's exactly what we mean by pageant. So we come up with these elaborate designs every year. We wear matching clothes, and just perform something for our poets, something they can take back home as a memory, as a souvenir.
Yes,
Okay.
and we stuck to theme colors. Like for plant poetry, it was green. For float poetry, because it was rivers, it was blue. And then for ignite, it was all of the warm shades and the fiery shades. And this time it's like air, so it's all pastel shades.
Pastel shades.
So these are little details just to give a visual treat to people and poets and get them involved and just add some color to it. That's it. Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Deepika has joined us back. If Deepika,
Hi,
would you
Deepika.
like to ask few questions to them?
Absolutely. Yes. I would like to ask a question from Akash. Where is Akash?
Akash.
Can I see him?
Can you
He's
get him
right
back?
here. He's going to come back with in bells on his toes.
So Akash,
Come.
No, no,
come.
no.
Akash, tell us a little
They're
bit
waiting
about
for you,
yourself,
Akash.
please.
Could you?
Akash?
Right. So he's just getting like he was going to perform a
Okay.
song.
Then how about Ashish? Ashish, you
Okay.
tell us something about
No, no.
yourself.
Ashish has already informed
Yeah,
in
I
the
think
meantime.
Akash is
Okay.
ready.
So okay, yeah,
If this
yes,
is me. Hi,
I was
Deepika.
offline that time. Hi,
Yeah.
Akash. Akash. So tell us what is Soul Scribers Society? I want to hear it from you.
See,
What does it mean to you?
we will try to decrypt it from the last word, that is society. Soul scribing, when it comes into a picture, when it manifests, we go beyond, we go yonder society. So society is actually including the ether and all the elements on what we are working. That is our society. And scribers is, of course, we etch words in air. We see alphabets floating in water. We see ashes, burnt out of the emotions that drain us. And likewise, we can involve all the elements. So, and yeah, we cannot exclude the machine that drives life in us, that is soul. And we can completely exclude the name that we wear. Just because you have such a beautiful name. Yeah, so that is a small description about Soul Scriber Society. I would like to think like that.
That is such a befitting reply from a poet. Absolutely amazing. I loved it. How has the your YPF team overcome hurdles and impediments of the pandemic and adjusted to the new normal? How did you manage that?
We have the support of the Rotary Club of Salem Galaxy, which is a very
Right.
progressive club. And the very year that we started it and when the idea was put forth, my husband, uh, literally was a pillar for us because he said he was the chairman of the literacy program of the Rotary International. And when we were
Right.
talking about this, he said, why don't we do a festival in Yercaud instead of Salem? And we will support you. Because it's not going to be done very easily. We have to look for sponsors. Everything matters. We do feel bad, pretty bad about asking registration fee from the poets, but that's how it is because we really have to be spending quite a bit to get things going. That being said,
Right.
we had very very generous sponsors from the club, the Rotary Club, and my husband said, let's make this a literary program and go beyond the literacy program. And what he did was, and knowing that the Rotary International is all about serving society, Akash and I put our heads together and we said, why don't we introduce and allow the visually impaired children of the Salem School for the Blind? Those children also, because they've not seen anything, we see things, we describe things, we try to put them into words and, in such metaphors. But those children, barely in seventh, eighth grade, ninth grade, they just hear things, they feel things, they smell things. They can't see what we see. So we said we should give them a voice. We should give them a place where they can be celebrated and be archived. So we approached the school, and through Rotary, it was very easy because they believed in us. The school believed in us. They knew that we were very serious about this. So that is the first thing that Rotary did, and they said we are there for you. Every year, come out with something because it so happens that we want to have it, as the first very big event of the Rotary year. So that this is the first event of the year, which begins with the induction of the president of the club, the new president. So it just flowed like that, and all of the members of the Rotary Club of Salem Galaxy, they gave their best, not just monetarily or financially speaking, but they gave beautiful ideas. They gave, suggestions to get better and better and better. So we are in that partnership. We are in that kind of beautiful harmony that worked wonders for us,
Synergy,
basically.
a lovely
Yes,
synergy.
synergy.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so when it went Zoom, when we had to go Zoom last year because of the pandemic, we felt we could actually transcend anything. It made it very easy for us, like we are doing right now, because this is the
Right.
new normal, and everything has to be taken care of. And why should we stop writing? Why should we stop celebrating poetry and poets? So this is why, and we said we will take it
Awesome.
as it comes.
I'm
Yes.
going to ask you a girly question now. Like I'm just taking you back to what Pooja said a little while ago, that both of you, you color coordinate your clothes, and then you listen to music, and then you speak your poetry. What is that about? What is all that about?
All right. Okay, in a way, it's just to get the attention of the
She's
audience.
giggling away. Look at her giggling away.
It's
Yes.
see there is, well, we are from that background, I think, where we want to dance, where we want to express ourselves, where we want to probably get attention, in a different way. But at the same time, we want to make poetry very visual. That was our whole intention. It's
Right.
good to read from print, it's good to read on the screen. But when we enact the poetry, it's an entirely different dimension. It's an entirely different experience. And those who have visited our Yercaud Poetry Festival, they all came to us and they said, "This is so amazing." And how you can make poetry come alive, make it look like a, what shall I say? It's like a tableau. It's like a pantomime. It's like everything put together. It's like a ballet, a very beautiful ballet. And
Wow.
because they're also young and they think out the box,
Yes.
they come out with some amazing ideas, and it's an experience. And they learn poetry too, because they are literally talking about poetry. They literally, they are listening to poetry. They are by hearting the lines, so they can emote, they can be on stage, do the steps, so they become poets too in that process. Because the girls that I have seen, and the boys who also participated, including Akash, yeah, he was still a boy. So what I'm trying to say is, like, that enthusiasm with which they do this, and it brings out the girl in me. I'm going to turn 16 next year, but who cares? I am always a girl, and I will not go old, and I shall be bling.
You
And
don't
have
look
my
a day over 40.
and have my nails painted green.
How lovely is that? How amazing. This is why I love artists, because we are so different. I definitely like to include myself in it too. But
Yes,
we are
absolutely.
so out of the
Not
box,
without you, never without
The
you.
world would,
Never
the
without you.
world, the world would be so dull without artists, of every kind,
Absolutely.
dancers,
I can't agree
poets,
more.
singers. Yeah. So awesome. So over to you,
That's
Afan. Why don't you throw them a question? Throw them something
no,
different,
no.
like make them think. Make them think. They have they have these answers on the tip of their fingers and their tongues. You got to make them think. Yeah, poets are very clever people. Let me tell you that. So
True
Yeah,
that. True. True.
we'll
We're very
definitely ask.
convincing.
Yes, yes, and I have always admired poetry and artists, and that's why we have come up with a platform like Rivers, where we try to bring every artist together and try to help them in whatever way possible, whether it is printing or publishing their work on our uh, on our websites, or on our social media channels, YouTube, or uh, producing their podcasts or publishing their books also, which we do under Rivers Press. So our sole aim is actually to take care and to promote the heritage which is around us in digital as well as in paper form, but just to uh, have it somewhere and show it to the world that yes, we do have a great legacy, we do have wonderful artists. Our younger generation has I get so many manuscripts every day, and most of them are actually from people who are below 45. The way they write is amazing, and I hope that soon we will have a change of trend in society, where more dignity and opportunities are provided to people like artists and poets. Unfortunately, here these days, what has happened, we have people who are artists, singers, or poets, but this is their hobby. This is not their main profession. But we should come up with a platform where they should do these things willingly, without being worried about monetary issues, and just keep on giving us wonderful
here,
literature, wonderful
absolutely.
music. Yes,
Well said. Well
I
we
would
said.
love
need
to
that
be a
kind of
professional poet,
society.
wouldn't you? Wouldn't you, Geet? Would you like
Absolutely.
to be a professional? I'd
I
love to
wish
do
Yeah,
this.
that day
I'd
would
like to
come.
go. The only thing I'd like to do is put my feet up on a stool and just dream and just, be a lotus eater and just write poetry all day and get paid for it. I mean, how much better can that would be Shangri-La,
we are
No,
totally.
working on it. We are
and
working on it.
Deepika, and the tea should be free.
And the tea should be free. It should be flowing from a fountain.
Exactly.
I
That would be
Just to
wonderful.
There
keep,
should be a waterfall of tea,
No, and
Yes.
poetry,
just
yeah,
to
poetry
keep
should be taken seriously, Poetry is for
It should.
all.
It should.
opportunity.
Yeah, they shouldn't
Absolutely.
think poetry is just for a core group. It should be made like that because I believe
Yeah.
every individual is a poet. You wouldn't believe it. We have something called poetry jamming. And
Okay.
at the end of the session,
Hmm.
after the festival is done, we do extempore poetry. And you won't believe it, the Rotarians who have never even read poetry after their class 12, they just started contributing. Each one would contribute a line, and we'd come out with a beautiful poem. So we
Yeah.
realized that we could
Yeah.
literally, we instilled something in them. We started them to become poets. So, like you say, yeah, poetry should be a profession
But
too.
I have a suggestion. I don't know how
Yes.
good that suggestion is, but why
Mm-hmm.
don't you form a little group where you can come to different towns? Like everybody's not able to come because of whatever constraints they have, time
Yes.
or other constraints. They're not able to come to towards to your court. Yes, of course,
Mm-hmm.
it's online right now. But once everything opens up, maybe one we should have we should go to different
Floating
towns
festival.
at least. Yeah, and that would be amazing.
That would
Meet
be
Yeah,
amazing,
different.
yeah.
and I do hope
So
that
Yeah.
we
works.
could also
That's
go to a
yeah.
new place.
Yeah,
Sorry.
So
we would be like the troubadours. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
Ashish,
Yes,
would
you were
be
yes.
telling
amazing.
something
I
about
know.
executing the idea that Deepika just now hinted. Please.
executing it.
Yeah.
You're going
Yeah,
to
I
drive
Yes,
know
us.
that
I like
thought.
I like what Geet
Let's
said.
go there.
Ashish is
Troubadours.
going to drive
Yeah,
us.
we're the singing gypsies.
Yeah,
I mean, what
exactly.
fun! Yeah,
I know. That would be great.
love
We're
to
the
look at that
minstrels.
naughty look on Ashish's face. I'm sure he has something to contribute to this conversation. What
No,
did you
no,
want to
I
say,
just I live in Yercaud, so it happens here every
Okay.
year, and it's
Exactly.
home grounds for us, for all of us, basically.
Right.
Ma'am lives only an hour away, so if we do it by the beach, then we can see sunrise and sunset going in and
What
coming
fun!
out. So
What fun!
In the
we
desert,
should, we can. It's an
Yeah,
idea.
in the desert. Yes, in the
Never know.
desert, by the beach, in the mountains,
Yeah.
reading poetry
yeah,
to these
you
places.
can
Where do you
actually
How
do.
live, ma'am?
fascinating is that?
Where are you calling from? Where are you calling from, bro? Afan?
Me,
Yeah.
Afan, Afan is in
Both.
I'm
Kashmir, and I'm in Delhi.
Okay. Cool. Kashmir sounds more fun though.
come over,
Anytime.
come over, come over. We can have a festival here, and it can be
Oh,
festival
that's
come
wonderful.
holiday.
Inshallah. Let's see if
We
it
can frame a
works. Yes.
package. We can frame a package for few of you. Few of you can join, and we can figure it out. So,
Wonderful.
anyways, I would
Cool.
like to ask, why have you kept the name as Yercaud Poetry Festival? Why this name? Just because it happens
Uh,
there, or something else?
no, the reason why, see, the meaning of the word Yercaud,
Hmm.
it's a Tamil word, which
Tamil.
the Britishers kind of distorted, mispronounced as Yercaud. But basically, it's called Yericad. Yeri
Yeah.
is lake, Cad is forest. There's a beautiful lake over there. Just like the way you have the Dal Lake, we have our own little, it's a natural lake.
It's called
So
the
it's
Emerald Lake.
Yericard. So Yericard became Yercard. The reason why we called it the Yercard Poetry Festival is because we wanted to have this pristine atmosphere for the poets to be inspired, and it was an attraction. There were so many who wanted to have that break and just come and not just go into a city which is like you know it's like monotonous. Sometimes being in a city, it gets very, very lonely, very monotonous. Here you can literally connect with the elements. There's bird song everywhere. There's beautiful pine scent of pines everywhere. It's mountain. It's beautiful hills everywhere, and there's mist everywhere. It's like totally ethereal, and it's got its own sweet, quaint atmosphere about it, and that's why we wanted to have it there, and we could control many things from Salem, and it wasn't so difficult for us.
So many
And
people
we have
actually.
Ashish has a beautiful property there, Carlton House, which is like a resort by itself, and he also offered us this place to where we had a beautiful poetry discussion, a panel discussion in a beautiful atmosphere. Like we are literally on a rock, surrounded by amazing vegetation around us and birds singing here and there. It was so beautiful. So the poet said, please just have it every year. We want to come back every year. And the Rotarians, they felt this is the best place to have it instead of just in some, hotel where we'll be within walls. So I remember the first
Wonderful.
time we had it, we were literally in the woods, in the sylvan atmosphere of Chevroy's Hotel. Uh, the first ever hotel, with hospitality and everything in Yercaud was Chevroy's. So we had it there. It was amazing. You could, if I could get the poets here and make them talk to you. I mean, we are nothing without the poets. They make our festival work. They
Yeah,
are most
indeed.
precious. Deepika, you're part of this time too. And how much I hounded you, bulldozed you into
I
writing this.
know. No, that was.
And how
You didn't hound
miraculously,
me.
I
I
mean, for
was so
you.
difficult. I was so
No, you were
difficult.
not difficult. You took it
I
in
just
your
get
stride and you
lost.
came out with amazing poetry. So we said
Thank you
this
so
should
much.
be part of the history. Yes. Yeah.
So,
You've come out with amazing
many
books. Amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
many people may not know, but just tell us where is Yercaud? How far from Chennai? How far from Salem? And tell us more about the history of this place. Ashish, would you like to take that?
Yes, I think he will.
Yeah, so Yercaud's popular since the British time.
Mhm.
We were known because of the climate over here. A lot of the Brits used to live over here back in the day. They made the roads up to Yercaud. It's hardly an hour away from Salem, and it's
Oh,
about 4 hours from Bangalore and 7 from Chennai. All right. And it's known for its wildlife over here, the bisons, the peacocks. I mean, like we wake up and we see about five, six peacocks walking around the place. So,
wow.
yeah, the fireflies,
Jugnu.
it's just surreal living over here. I mean, like,
Did
not
I hear
enough words being a
fireflies?
poet.
Did I hear
Yeah, yeah,
fireflies?
Yeah. Chugni.
yeah.
Chugni.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's a very dreamy town because I'll tell you what, it's not too cold, it's not too warm. It's in the middle of both of them. So it makes it just the perfect place for anybody to live and spend a life at.
Okay, so you've
Wonderful.
completely
You
sold
should
the
come
place to us.
down.
So we are going to come visit you now.
You should.
Deepika
Yes,
Whenever.
yes,
should
And
yes.
I,
Yeah.
Deepika should go because she's a Jugni. Maybe she'll find Jugnu also there.
yeah. And
We'll
there's
add
something
more
very
and more.
interesting. There are
Uh,
21 hairpin bends, and every bend has a poet's name, a Tamil
wow.
poet's name of your some beautiful, amazing poetry they've written over centuries. So every
Uh-huh.
bend has a poet's name. Am I right?
Okay.
How
There,
beautiful
there
is
is
that?
there's
Yes. Yes.
there's
How
Sindhu
beautiful.
Devu. Sindhu Devu has asked a question. Isn't it the birthplace of Tamil poetess and scholar Aviyar? So she has asked it.
Abhayar, no.
Okay.
Nearby. That is in that hill range. It is in that hill
Okay.
range, the Chevrolet hills, but not Yercaud per se. It's in that
Okay.
range that she was born. She was considered the
So there are
wisest woman.
Okay,
Yes.
so our house has a little bit of heritage of Charles Dickens involved to the place. So his great granddaughter was born over here. Have you guys heard of Charles Dickens?
yeah.
You bet.
Tale of two
Literally.
cities.
Literally.
The tale of two cities.
Are you
Yeah.
serious? Are you asking literature literature people, literature students, with who Charles Dickens is? I mean,
No, I'm
this
just
guy is very
like, you
cocky,
know,
huh? Yeah.
He is. He is.
Oh,
Oh no,
good
he
if
can
you get
get
that out
worse.
of the first.
You don't know. He can be so.
little,
He's
not a
not a
lot.
very difficult student, but yeah, he's a difficult soul scriber too.
Just
Yeah.
adding a little humor to the platform. If not, we'd
Yes.
just
Oh,
be like,
Uh,
absolutely,
there,
absolutely.
there, there are many people who are watching us online. So I would like to again tell them that this is the curtain raiser for your card poetry festival, which is being organized by Soul Scribers Society Salem, and in collaboration with the Rotary Club of Salem Galaxy and Rivers. We are the media partner for them, and we are looking forward to more and more collaboration with them in future events.
Thank you so
So
Afan,
much.
nobody is going to
we
take
have
you seriously if you don't smile and say the same thing.
so I'll keep on smiling. So I'll keep on smiling. So before we end this, we definitely will ask Ashish to perform as well. But
Akash.
is there
Akash.
Akash.
Akash? Yeah,
Akash.
sorry.
thank you.
I, I,
He freaked out.
but before that, I would like to request Gitanjali ji, if she can read some of her poetry.
I'll be delighted to do that. I'd
Yeah.
like to read something from
Can you,
plant
can you,
poetry.
can you come in the
Yes.
center, please, if you don't mind?
So this is plant poetry of year 2018. This is float
Yeah.
poetry of year 2019. And this
Okay.
is ignite poetry of year 2020 when we went Zoom. So we are very proud of these babies and the wonderful poets who are in this, featured in this, because they make the poetry festival happen. And we dedicate these books to all our poets and to the publisher, Sudarshan Kecheri ji, who has been, with us right through. And this one was by Shritam, by Poetic Imagica. So yeah, we are very grateful for making this go into hard copy. I'd like to read my poem from plant poetry. Um, just give me a minute. I'll be there. Yes. There I am. So I want to read a poem called Reverie, for which I did a small painting. I mean, this is an old painting, so I just wanted to include that. It looks better in color. I'm going to read it for you. This is my first poem for the first poetry festival. Reverie. Emerald hill of intense misty clouds. Emerald hill of intense misty clouds, there you stand, so far away, in dense shrouds, drinking the sunlight and moonrise of my eyes. And this valley echoes a hum of my anguish sighs, sending me kisses in smoke rings of visions green, murmuring in my ears of love unfulfilled through a smog screen, where I cannot be your song but can sing endless of summer rain, dewy nights, fragrant petrichor, breathless. Your verses blowing around your subtle intellect deep, verdant dampness of thought range, tiptoeing ethereal as you peep into my window, tapping the foggy panes of my pining eyes. O muse of my soul, can you kiss my tears away from your distant skies? For you float a dream in an illusion so tangible, where I flit a nymph in lines you dictate, cryptically illegible. Through births you have touched the poet in me. Now hear my sobs that I stifle to write you. Set me free. That's the one. So this is basically about Yercaud itself and how Yercaud became a muse for me. That the Emerald Hills we can see from our terrace, and it's surrounded. Salem is a valley. So I was putting all of that and how it has inspired me to write more and more poetry. So that's the thing, Afan. I hope you all enjoyed it. I love
Yes,
reading
yes.
it for you people.
Thank you very much. It was indeed a pleasure to hear your poetry. So,
Thank you.
Akash, would you also like to say something?
Yes.
Ashish,
Akash would
Ashish,
say it differently.
Ashish. No. Before that, Ashish, maybe
Okay.
Bro,
because
I
we are
don't
going
have
to
a piece ready. Let Akash perform, then I'll read something out for us. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. And in the meantime, I'll also request Deepika to look for some poetry which she would like to recite. Because what we are doing, we are doing the curtain raiser for a poetry festival. So poetry recitation is mandatory. So you please, I
Afan, can I
can
just
also,
request you to send me one of my poems
yeah,
because
we'll
you know
we'll we'll
where
do
I have
that.
issues with the
Yeah. Yeah,
poems.
I can also request Pooja to look for some of the poetry or a quote which she would like to recite in the meantime. Yeah, please. So we have with us this time Akash. Akash has composed something special for this particular festival. And Akash Sagar is born and raised by a single parent mother ro- in the Steel City, where he furnished his where he has finished his prelims education. Then he moved to Salem, and he has joined Soul Scribers Society. He has started his poetic journey every new day. However, his first poem inclusion happened for Semi Sands, Samanthi Publishers, namely Few. His write-ups were felicitated at online platforms, writers, e-zines, and TSL. He's looking forward to bind his solo amalgamate multiple dimension of art form, which includes color, words, audio, and print format. All the best, Akash. And I'm sure
Thank you.
I've been to Salem in the poetic emotion. So Romaji is
Thanks,
saying,
the Rhyvers group. It is still a very pleasant evening. Going live with the fourth poetry festival that we have conducted here. So this is something
please go ahead. Yes.
that I scribed and I came up with. It's a
Uh,
bilingual.
yeah. Akash, humble suggestion, just come in the center.
Come to the center.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come in the center and then start.
You can come the other side.
Kind of visible now.
Yes. Perfect.
Am I audible now?
Yes.
If I strum a chord, are the people is audible there?
Yes. It is.
Kind of audible?
Yes.
Start.
Okay. There was a to pay a fare, nostrils of fair look for repair. Fair was it to pay a fare, nostrils of fair look for repair. Does greenery question gravity? No, don't have anyone for free. If there be heard of harmony, am I the one here who did feel? होती हवा तो गिनते कितने पावन पुरवाई सब पहचाने. होती हवा तो गिनते कितने पावन पुरवाई सब पहचाने. दोनों जहां में हो जिंदगी, सांसों से सांसों तक की आजादी. रूठे जो हो हमसे माली, था कल तक मैं भी हम राही. The earth now asks Something like this.
That was good.
Awesome. That was lovely.
Thanks, Rivals team, and thanks, Deepika.
Oh, that's
Beautiful, beautiful.
that was amazing. That was amazing, and we have so many people who have told that they are tapping their feet along with your strumming, and they have literally enjoyed this piece of yours. Indeed, very very wonderful piece which you have created, and multiple languages, and a
Great job.
very nice message also, which you tried to convey.
Very
Thank
nice.
you so
Thanks.
much.
Thank you if
Thank
it
you
is
so much.
liked.
Yes, so we are at the conclusion of the curtain raiser for Yercaud Poetry Festival, which is happening from 6 to 9th, 6th to 8th, and it is being launched tomorrow. However, this is the curtain raiser, but I have asked Deepika as well as Pooja to prepare some of their poetry, and I'm sure they must have. Pooja, do you have something to recite?
Yes.
Yes, I actually do. It's a poem I
Hmm.
had written last year,
Please.
um, but it's
Agaz karo.
unpublished.
Okay.
Uh, it's an unpublished poem. I just write poetry for passion. So the only two poems that have actually been published are the poem that I wrote last year for Ignite Poetry and this year for Breed Poetry. So this poem was inspired by a word that I read on this platform online. It's called the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows. So basically, that website, they come up with these new words new words or rare words that people don't know about, and they give meaning to those words or those emotions basically, which you cannot explain in words basically. So they come up with these words, and there's this word that I came across, and it said the word was flash over. The definition of flashover on the website is the moment a conversation becomes real and alive, which occurs when a spark of trust shorts out the delicate circuits you keep insulated under layers of irony, momentarily grounding the static emotional charge you've built up through decades of friction with the world. So this is basically the definition that the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows has given for the word flashover. And it inspired me to write the following poem. It started with a flashover. You stormed in like a hurricane, perched on the royal barouche of your charm, wit, and sexy you came. What followed was a whirlwind night of raw emotion. I fell hard, head first, drunk on the roses of your love potion. Sweet, enchanting, irresistible, you flaunt. It began as a virgin tryst that lasted from dusk till dawn, either unwilling to let go of the fantasy hitherto unfolding, tenderly nestled underneath the covers of our shared dreaming. You awakened feelings in me, those I had locked away in some dark, forgotten recesses of my heart. For life had been unfair. I had been unfair to my heart. You taught me how to love again, love myself, love life, love again. You taught me to smile, to laugh, to blush, to take a leap of faith again. You gave me you, unexpected, undiluted, to rebound back to sanity. You gave me hope, drawing me from the edge of nothingness back to sanity. I found confidence, courage, and compassion in you. You ignited a fire within, while my soul became irrevocably hinged on you. But that ecstasy was inching close to its demise. Unaddressed, unnamed, unlabeled, our commitment blossomed ethereal. losing track of time, entwined in an escapade so surreal. Two minds, two hearts, two souls collided in a little safe haven. A pair of befuddled fireflies were we, twirling through our rainbow heaven. And as our untamed reverie continued to gain momentum, forces of nature intervened, coercing the euphoria to succumb. For the ripples of our affair did lead us astray. Little prepared were we, oft wondering why could we not just stay? Alas, it was never meant to be. A quiet tear escaped the shattered dream, merging with a smile, paying tribute to the requiem of our dream. Episodes of denial and bargaining in cycles of this conundrum ensued. Unashamed desperation to turn back time ensued. At long last, acceptance dawned upon my senses, urging me to stick my head out of the sand. To ensure our unrequited love will live on, I wrote this little love letter in the sand. With copious tears trickling down, locking away my treasure trove of all that would have been. Smiling, a closure tranquil, swimming in the depths of sweet anemoia of all that could have been. And just like that, in a flash, it was all over. Thank you.
Brilliant. Fantastic.
Nice.
This should have been published long ago. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Yes,
Beautiful.
that was my poem.
Bravo.
That's wonderful. That's a brilliant poem, and you should definitely publish it. And you can take
Maybe
the
I will.
details for Rivers from Geetaji and kindly give us this poem, and we'll be happy to publish it as
Oh
well.
my God.
Yes.
Thank you so
There
much.
you are.
That's a beautiful start.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm honored. Thank you.
So we are already more than an hour, and we need to wind up. But before that, just I'll again request quickly, Ashish, your poetry. Any short poem which you would like to recite?
It's not very short, but I'll run through it.
No problem.
He writes sagas.
Cool. So it's called Live On, and it's this is about 5, 6 years old. It's one of the first few pieces that I wrote, and it's a long time since I've read it myself. So let me tell you how it had all begun. Give me a chance, it's just day one. Why is beautiful, beautiful such naked love? Dried trees, withered leaves, and tiny stars far above. Way back in school, those good old times, when darkness was scary, I read my mother's rhymes. Her letters to me put me to sleep. It was hope, faith, and a love oh so deep. And then one day, you wake up to find it's 10 years and you've been left behind. Nobody can hold you from growing old, yet it's left up to you to growing up. Unless you've seen the shattered glass shimmer, specks of stardust in all this blood, I think I've lost you to my guitar, my heartstrings gone away with the flood. Why is beautiful, beautiful such naked love? Dried trees, withered leaves, and tiny stars far above. Live it up, 'cause life is a celebration. Tears, fears, and worries were your creation. Imagine a world with no religion, barriers, walls, and all this division. Now there's something tragic about you. There's something so magic about you. Girl, there's something wretched about this. There's something so precious about this. Let me tell you what I want to be. Young, wild, and forever be free. Unkempt by the bounds that bind society, along with all this pain and misery. Years after I'm gone, I want to be remembered as the boy who lived free. I'm in search to write a book. For you, inspiration, where do I look? A fresh tale to brew, a fresh tale to cook. a masterpiece in words for everything she took. Ideas hover over the top of my head. I wander all day and I think in bed. Lives of a million, green, gold, and red. I want to live on even after I'm dead.
Oh, what a punch.
Beautiful.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
मिलते हैं तो बात करते हैं भाई.
मिलेंगे ना.
कल सुबह मिलेंगे.
You sent us in
Wonderful.
another world.
Totally.
Thank you.
Wonderful. So now I'll request Deepikaji for her poetry recitation, the
Oh,
final
yes.
poetry
Actually,
recitation.
I'm going to, Afan looks like this very innocent creature, but he chose a very, very sensual poem of mine for me to read. But I'm not going to read that one. I'm going to read the first poem I ever wrote in my life. Okay. So
Wow,
that
how
was
lovely.
that was inspired by Pablo Neruda's "Tonight I Can Write the Saddest Lines."
Yeah, go ahead. You read whatever you feel like comfortable.
Whatever is a
So I'll
nice
read the
word.
sensuous one the next time. Okay.
Sure.
So the clouds are crying for me tonight. Through their opaque surface, I see the vapid vapors yield a deluge of tears that sink through the earth and vanish from sight. The clouds are crying for me tonight. I am weary of the worries that weave a web in my world tonight. Shadows lurk at corners where furtive thieves abide, friends of the dark, foes of the bright. The clouds are crying for me tonight. With eyes clamped shut, I imagine I see a streak of light. Perhaps, whispers my wistful heart, the moon has offered a silver slice to dilute the darkness somewhere deep inside. Or else, after the long shower of tears, it's a glimpse of the August rainbow in sight. But tonight, the clouds are crying for me tonight. Tonight, the light has morphed into lightning, like a dream turns into a nightmare, sending currents down my spine. In heaven, the angels shiver and shake. In immense fear and formidable fright, the clouds are crying for me tonight. Far, far away in the hazy horizons stands the moon, stricken still, like a jilted bride, clutching her cumulus veil real tight, a ghostly vision in pearly white. The clouds are crying for me tonight. A galaxy of stars in a mood hostile wage a war on the bare-skinned sky, till she turns a deep, dismal blue, bruised all over in cosmic spite. Like a million thoughts needle me tonight. The clouds are crying for me tonight. The wind wanders about like a destitute, along the empty, endless streets tonight, lost in its eternal quest for a nest, to rest its weary head for the night. Like my wandering soul narrating its flight, the clouds are crying for me tonight. Tonight, my eyes are dry like a desert. What remains is just the dust of the dreams that scatters about with the slant of storms to disappear into the sands of time. The candle of hope is no longer a light. The clouds are crying. The clouds are crying for me tonight. Thank you.
Magical.
Thank you, sir.
Wonderful, wonderful. That
This
was
was my first poem when I wrote it at age 12.
Wow. Brilliant.
Mhm.
Hats
The
off.
clouds were smiling tonight.
Yes. Clouds are smiling tonight.
Oh, yes, they're smiling. Absolutely.
So you're sure you're not going to read any more poems?
Egging her on.
Okay, so this brings us to the conclusion of the curtain raiser for your card poetry festival. But we wish you all the best. We are very honored and delighted to be part of this wonderful initiative. There are a lot of lives which you have touched, and I'm sure many more you're going to touch. Before we uh, Yeah, before we formally say goodbye, I would request once again Geetanjali Dilipji to say a few words about what she wishes from the festival and just to give her thoughts on for the next 3 days.
Yes. I believe that everything happens, according to God's plan. We are just the instruments and we have to just enjoy ourselves while we can. Keeping that in mind, I want to look back and look at the beautiful way how God has brought us all together. And
Indeed.
especially you, how you followed my poetry, Afan, and you asked me to contribute to Rivers, and how you wanted to learn French, and you have literally, picked up some French, although we have not studied in a month and a half because you were very understanding and knowing that we
Ha,
are compiling the book and bringing out this anthology. I want to thank you for taking this into your fold under your wings and giving us the space and making the world see it. Because that's not easy. We're a small group and we join hands and we collaborate. So that is how we became Soul Scribers, and now here we are with Rivers. I want to thank Rivers. I want to thank you, Afan. I want to thank your wonderful team. I want to thank Deepika for her lively. She's a live wire. She is my Jugni. She will light up any place wherever she goes, however dark the place is. Yeah, and
I
she and
would
I
say the
mentioned
same to
Derek.
you, Gitanjali. You are a diva, okay? You're an all-rounded, you're a wholesome woman, completely.
not
Yeah.
not
My
without
electric woman.
not without inspirational people like you. You are really a star in a way you don't even know. Okay, and leave Tarana out of it, but you are a star and you made her a star. This is how
Jigni,
we look at you,
Jigni.
and your poetry is a standout. Your poetry is
Thank you.
absolutely
Thank
outstanding.
you so much,
So what I
Gitanjali.
yeah
Thank you.
I'd like to take this forward year after year, where we would
inshallah.
meet and where we could have fabulous poetry celebrations, and based on what Afan also wants. That would be so beautiful. We can get many poets to write and understand what words are all about. And this time it's a trilingual, so we want to have more, other vernacular in our books. And this is something I really want to do. But yes, thank you so very much for having us on the show. Thank you so very much for making us feel that we can do something with poetry in future. And that's I think I have voiced all their
Yes,
opinions. And
absolutely.
yes, would you
Poetry,
like to say
poetry comes
something,
from the
Akash?
soul.
Akash.
Uh, Nothing. I mean, like when we still, although we should not be looking back, but that's the habit of pages. They flip back just to give a glimpse of how the story has been through. So when we look back the first year, we did not have that many poets as Pooja read it before. But now we are a team of 103 in this book, and thanks to Rivers, we have gone live. We are having curtain raiser. Rotarians, we have been always there to spread our wings and fly high, soar high in the sky. And yeah, so with upcoming years, we have plans after elements that what we can venture with our pen and bind it up.
Wonderful, wonderful. We are all there with you, and I assure you on behalf of my editorial team and advisory board that we'll leave no stone unturned to help you and help all the people who are associated with you. And we will try to amplify your work not only on channels but also in print, on podcast. Definitely, we would have to formalize it and maybe think on long term basis also. We'll do that very very soon. But it is indeed an honor and pleasure to be with all of you and to join hands with Rotary Club Salem, Soul Scribers Society, and to have this curtain raiser for
Same
Yercaud.
here. Same
Wonderful.
here.
And we
Thank you
look
so much.
forward.
So,
We look forward to your presence tomorrow at the inaugural
inshallah,
function of the 3 day
inshallah.
event. Yes, God
Yes, yes,
willing.
yes,
Yes,
inshallah.
definitely. And
Yeah,
yes,
inshallah.
we have planned a small conversation with you, and you're going to be there. Wonderful. Thank you
Indeed.
so very much. It was one of the best evenings I have spent in a very long time, and I loved it. I totally loved it. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Yes,
so much for
and
this platform. Thank you so much
no, no,
for
you don't
believing
have
in
to
us.
join hands. we are working together. We are equal partners, and there's something to learn from you. And maybe we'll also learn. You'll also learn some skills from our team.
Absolutely.
So
Oh, we are.
Absolutely. We
it is an
already
honor.
did. We know how
And
serious you are and how to the point you are, and that's
uh,
very important to know, very professional. That's
And
wonderful.
many people must be wondering about the pageant. So I would like to inform you that most probably will go live with the pageant tomorrow around 8ish. If they have recorded it today, and if it is edited properly, then tomorrow 8 o'clock you can see the pageant on our Facebook and page and YouTube channel. We'll be uploading it there, hopefully,
Yeah, you're in
and
for a very beautiful surprise. Yes.
Yes.
yes,
We
you'll
have
get a
given our
glimpse.
lives to it.
Well,
Yes.
okay. Shh, don't say
Uh,
anything.
we'll see it tomorrow, inshallah.
Yes.
We'll see it
Yes. You'll
tomorrow.
see for
So,
yourself.
thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Pooja, Ashish,
Thank
Akash,
you.
and my special thanks and regards to Madam Gintachilli Dilip and Mr. Dilip also, who is there and who has made this, all of you have made this poetry festival live. It is because of your efforts, your coordination, and your selfless passion that these things are happening. I'm seriously touched, so much touched by the efforts of Pooja, who managed to fly from Ahmedabad in pandemic, clearing all those tests
Exactly.
and all, and coming there. There's a word for it, khatrun ke khiladi. So
Oh my.
she's a daredevil. She has done it for Yercaud Poetry Festival, and
Indeed.
she has a strong soul. And now poetry connects us. Poetry, music, dance. It connects souls basically.
True.
So we are indeed everybody's part of Soul Scribers Society in that way. If at all they are connected with their soul, because the journey inwards is very difficult. Somehow poetry helps us to know what we are. Whenever we look at spiritual personalities, we have seen that most of them pen down their emotions through poetry, or they express their emotions through dance or art. But poetry has been the foremost choice of all the spiritual personalities to not only share wisdom but also try to teach people and share the experiences, their metaphorical experiences with the common masses. So it has been a pleasure speaking to you. We have spoken for more than 1 hour 20 minutes. Thank you very much. And there are many people who are with us from more than an hour. So you please have a lovely evening. Enjoy your dinner, and from tomorrow. For the next 3 days, kindly log on to the YouTube, log on for the Yercaud Poetry Festival. We
Got
will
that
also
right this
be,
time.
yeah, we will also be sharing the link
Yes.
of
Thank you.
Zoom with you guys. You please be there, and please be there so that we can encourage all these poets and also give your opinion. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you
Good
so
eve-
much.
Good night,
Thank you so
everybody.
very much, Afan.
Thanks to all
Have a
the traffic
wonderful evening.
who passed by at Rhyvers and became our visitors tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. See
Thank
see
you.
you tomorrow. Khuda Hafiz.
Bye-bye.
See you
Thank
tomorrow.
Take
you.
care.
Bye bye.
Bye.